Hey guys, today we'll be talking about one of the most famous Black American heroes in the U.S. history, MLK Jr. So MLK Jr., also known as Martin Luther King Jr., was and still is a famous man for his inspiring speeches and his contribution to the civil rights movement. MLK was born on January 15, 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia, and he died on April 4, 1968, Memphis, Tennessee. King came from a middle-class family and went in their tradition of Southern Black ministry. Even though he had a secure upbringing, he still experienced prejudices in the South. He still remembers the time when one of his white playmates told him that he wasn't allowed to play with him since they're going to segregated schools. During his older lifetime, Martin Luther King Jr. was a Baptist minister and a social rights activist in the United States from the 1950s to 1960s. When he was a leader of the American Civil Rights Movement. He organized a number of peaceful protests as the head of Southern Christian leadership, including the famous March on Washington. In 1964, he won a Nobel Prize, and at that time he was the youngest to get a Nobel Prize. He made many speeches, and a few of his speeches were "Who is truly great?", "A religion of doing," etc. His most famous speech was the "I Have a Dream" speech during the March on Washington. He delivered this on August 28, 1963. It was one of the most iconic speeches in the U.S. history, people said. In conclusion, Martin Luther King Jr. was a very influential man and wanted to change the world, one word at a time. This was brought to you by Deepanshu from the Leo Club.